Overthinking is a common cognitive process where an individual excessively analyzes, evaluates, and rethinks situations or problems. It involves dwelling on thoughts and possibilities to an extent that is often unproductive and can lead to increased stress and anxiety. People who tend to overthink may find themselves trapped in a cycle of indecision, constantly second-guessing their choices and imagining various outcomes, both positive and negative. This pattern of thinking can be exhausting and may hinder effective decision-making. In this video, we will discuss about how you can fix your overthinking by following Miyamoto Musashi's teachings. Step 1. Take deep breaths. In the busy world inside our heads, just breathing deeply can be a powerful way to stop thinking too much. Miyamoto Musashi, a wise swordsman, knew that breathing isn't just something our bodies do. It's a key to controlling our thoughts. Imagine your mind as a ship navigating stormy seas. Overthinking is the tempest threatening to capsize your vessel. Taking deep breaths is the anchor that keeps you grounded amidst the turbulence. It provides stability and a momentary pause in the relentless onslaught of thoughts. Musashi's teachings implore you to view the breath as a tether to the present moment. Inhale deeply, and you draw your focus away from the chaotic waves of overthinking. Exhale, and you release the tension that grips your mind. The breath becomes a rhythmic dance, a reminder that amidst the storm, you possess the power to anchor yourself in the present. Overthinking is like a storm brewing within the mind. Deep breaths act as a calming breeze, dispersing the clouds of chaotic thoughts. When you consciously take slow, deep breaths, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body that it's time to relax. This physiological response counteracts the fight-or-flight mode often triggered by overthinking. Musashi's philosophy revolves around centeredness, the ability to remain balanced and focused amidst challenges. Deep breaths serve as a compass, guiding your mind back to the center. As you breathe, you center your awareness on the present moment, away from the whirlwind of overthinking that pulls you in myriad directions. Overthinking thrives in the crowded spaces of the mind. Deep breaths create a sacred pause, a momentary gap in the stream of thoughts. In this space, clarity emerges. Musashi would compare it to the strategic pause before a decisive strike. Deep breaths grant you the clarity needed to discern between the noise of overthinking and the calm waters of mindful awareness. The breath is a powerful tool of control. Musashi's philosophy emphasizes the importance of mastering oneself. Deep breaths are a declaration that you, not overthinking, are in control. Inhale purposefully, and you claim authority over your mental state. Exhale deliberately, and you release the grip of overthinking on your consciousness. Overthinking often involves repetitive thought patterns that loop incessantly. Deep breaths act as a disruptor, breaking the cycle of automatic thinking. As you focus on the inhalation and exhalation, your mind detaches from the loop, creating an opportunity for a new perspective to emerge. Musashi's strategic brilliance lay in his ability to respond to the ebb and flow of battle rather than react impulsively. Deep breaths empower you to shift from a reactive state, driven by overthinking, to a responsive state. The conscious act of breathing becomes a strategic response, a deliberate choice to navigate the challenges of the mind with clarity and composure. Musashi advocated for the unity of mind and body in the pursuit of mastery. Deep breaths facilitate this connection. As you breathe deeply, you synchronize your mental and physical states. This harmony is a powerful antidote to overthinking, aligning your thoughts with the rhythm of your breath and grounding you in the present moment. The breath is a foundational element of mindfulness, a practice embraced by both ancient philosophy and modern psychology. Musashi's teachings and mindfulness converge in the idea that awareness of the breath anchors you in the present. Deep breaths cultivate mindfulness, diminishing the grip of overthinking by fostering a heightened state of awareness. Taking deep breaths is not just a physiological exercise. It is a profound strategy rooted in the wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi. It is a breath of liberation, a conscious act that empowers you to reclaim control, find center amidst chaos, and navigate the intricate dance between the mind's tempest and the calm shores of mindful awareness. As you inhale and exhale, you embark on a journey guided by the breath. A journey towards overcoming overthinking and embracing the serenity that lies beyond the storm. Step 2. Notice when you're stuck in your head. Musashi's teachings beckon you to become a vigilant observer of your own mind. Overthinking often starts as a subtle whisper, a quiet stream of thoughts that gradually turns into a roaring river. The key is to notice when you're stuck in your head, trapped in the labyrinth of your own musings. Picture your mind as a vast landscape, a terrain of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. Musashi's teachings encourage you to be the keen-eyed traveler navigating this vast expanse. When you notice you're stuck in your head, you become the vigilant explorer, tracing the contours of your mental landscape. Musashi's martial prowess lay not only in the skillful swing of the sword, but in the perceptive awareness of his surroundings. Similarly, your ability to notice when you're stuck in your head is a crucial step toward mastering the inner terrain. Overthinking often puts the mind on autopilot, where thoughts run amok without conscious direction. Noticing when you're stuck disrupts this automatic mode, forcing you to step into the role of the conscious observer. Musashi would liken it to the moment of heightened alertness before engaging an opponent, a state where every move is intentional. Musashi's philosophy resonates with the principles of mindfulness, an acute awareness of the present moment without judgment. Noticing when you're stuck in your head is the initiation of mindful awareness. It is the conscious decision to observe your thoughts without being entangled by them, much like Musashi observed his adversaries on the battlefield. The act of noticing is a gateway to introspection. Musashi's wisdom extends beyond the physical battles to the introspective realms of self-awareness. When you notice you're stuck in your head, you create a space for introspection, a moment to delve into the roots of overthinking, understand its triggers, and formulate a strategic response. Overthinking is a slippery slope that often leads to heightened anxiety and stress. Noticing when you're stuck is akin to catching yourself before sliding down that slope. It is a preventive measure, a strategic pause that prevents the escalation of overthinking into a full-blown mental storm. Musashi's tactical brilliance lies in preventing unnecessary battles, and similarly, noticing prevents the unnecessary escalation of mental turmoil. Musashi's path to mastery emphasizes the cultivation of self-awareness. Noticing when you're stuck in your head is the first step in this journey. By turning your attention inward, you begin to unravel the intricacies of your thought patterns. Much like Musashi's acute awareness of his own techniques, you cultivate a deep understanding of the workings of your mind. Overthinking often thrives in the realm of unconscious thoughts, those fleeting ideas and worries that slip beneath the radar of conscious awareness. Noticing when you're stuck in your head breaks the spell of unconscious thoughts. It pulls these thoughts into the light of awareness, where you can examine them with the discerning gaze of a strategic thinker. Musashi's teachings highlight the importance of adopting the role of the observer. Noticing when you're stuck empowers the observer within you. It shifts your identity from being entangled in the web of thoughts to being the detached observer, capable of strategizing and navigating the mental landscape with clarity and purpose. Just as Musashi knew the value of a strategic pause in the heat of battle, noticing when you're stuck initiates a strategic pause in the battlefield of the mind. This pause is not a retreat but a moment of reflection, a conscious choice to step back and assess the situation before moving forward. It is the embodiment of Musashi's philosophy that battles should be chosen wisely. Noticing when you're stuck in your head is the art of mindful observation, a skill that resonates with Musashi's emphasis on awareness and strategic thinking. It is not merely a passive act, but an active engagement with the inner landscape, a journey towards mastering the mind with the precision of a seasoned swordsman. As you hone this skill, you become the vigilant observer, navigating the intricate terrain of your thoughts with the wisdom and clarity inspired by Miyamoto Musashi. Step 3. Challenge your thoughts. In Miyamoto Musashi's wise lessons, he suggests that facing your thoughts is a powerful way to stop thinking too much. It's like a skilled swordsman figuring out the good and bad parts of an enemy. Challenging your thoughts is like using a sharp sword to see through the false ideas that too much thinking creates. Musashi's philosophy invites you to view your mind as a battlefield where thoughts, like adversaries, demand scrutiny. When overthinking tightens its grip, challenging your thoughts becomes the strategic strike, a counter-move that disrupts the patterns of negativity and doubt. Overthinking often feeds on negative thought patterns, creating a cycle that seems insurmountable. Challenging your thoughts disrupts this cycle. It is the deliberate act of breaking free from the chains of negativity, much like Musashi broke free from the predictable movements of his opponents on the battlefield. Musashi's mastery was not a fixed state, but a continuous journey of growth and adaptation. Challenging your thoughts aligns with the principles of a growth mindset. Instead of succumbing to the belief that your thoughts define your reality, you challenge them, fostering an environment for learning and personal development. Musashi's battles were not only physical, but also tests of emotional resilience. Challenging your thoughts builds emotional resilience. It is the process of facing emotional discomfort head-on, understanding that thoughts are not absolute truths, and cultivating the strength to withstand the storms of overthinking. Musashi's strategic brilliance lay in rational thinking and calculated decision-making. Challenging your thoughts empowers rational thinking. It is the practice of evaluating thoughts based on evidence and reason, rather than succumbing to the emotional whirlwind of overthinking. This strategic approach aligns with Musashi's emphasis on clarity of thought in the midst of chaos. Overthinking often involves cognitive distortions, irrational thought patterns that contribute to negative emotions. Challenging your thoughts is an exercise in identifying these distortions. Much like Musashi analyzed the stance and movements of his opponents, you scrutinize the validity of your thoughts, discerning whether they are distorted or grounded in reality. Overthinking tends to crowd the mind with incessant thoughts. Challenging your thoughts creates mental space. It is the intentional act of carving out room for clarity amidst the chaos. Musashi's battles were won through strategic moves in open spaces. Similarly, challenging your thoughts creates a mental battleground where rational thinking can prevail. Musashi's teachings highlight the importance of adapting to different situations. Challenging your thoughts involves shifting perspectives. It is the conscious effort to view your thoughts from different angles. Much like Musashi adapted his strategies to suit the ever-changing dynamics of battle. Shifting perspectives opens the door to alternative interpretations, breaking the rigidity of overthinking. Overthinking often reinforces limiting beliefs about oneself and the world. Challenging your thoughts is the process of replacing these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Musashi's journey was one of constant self-improvement. Similarly, challenging your thoughts becomes a vehicle for personal transformation, replacing self-defeating narratives with empowering affirmations. Challenging your thoughts is a transformative practice deeply rooted in the wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi. It is the strategic strike against the fortress of overthinking, a conscious effort to wield the sword of discernment and cut through the illusions that entangle the mind. As you engage in this mental combat, you embrace the spirit of Musashi, the spirit of clarity, adaptability, and the unwavering pursuit of mastery over the intricacies of the mind. Step 4. Schedule time for reflection. Miyamoto Musashi, the master tactician, understood the importance of reflection in the pursuit of self-improvement. In the chaos of our daily lives, overthinking often takes root in the absence of intentional reflection. To fix this, Musashi recommends carving out dedicated time for contemplation. In Musashi's world, reflection was not a luxury, but a necessity for growth and mastery. Similarly, in the realm of overthinking, scheduling time for reflection becomes the intentional act of pressing the pause button on the chaotic narrative of the mind. Overthinking often clouds the mind with a fog of confusion. Scheduling time for reflection is your beacon through the mist. It provides a dedicated space to sift through the mental clutter, gaining clarity amidst the chaos. Musashi's battles were won through clear strategy. Similarly, scheduling reflection becomes your strategic move in the battle against overthinking. Musashi's path to mastery involved continuous introspection. Scheduling time for reflection is the intentional carving out of moments for introspection. It is an invitation to delve into the recesses of your thoughts, understand your motivations, and discern the patterns that contribute to overthinking. Musashi's philosophy revolves around the idea of understanding oneself deeply. Scheduling time for reflection is the gateway to self-understanding. As you reflect on your thoughts, actions, and reactions, you embark on a journey of self-discovery. This profound understanding becomes the compass guiding you through the labyrinth of overthinking. Musashi's strategic brilliance extended beyond the battlefield to the art of decision-making. Scheduling time for reflection facilitates strategic decision-making in the realm of overthinking. It is the deliberate consideration of your thoughts, allowing you to make decisions not based on impulsive reactions, but on a thoughtful understanding of the situation. Musashi's rituals between battles were moments of pause, opportunities to gather his thoughts and refine his techniques. Similarly, scheduling time for reflection creates a ritual of pause in your daily life. It is a designated space for mental recalibration, a deliberate act that interrupts the incessant flow of overthinking. Overthinking often spills beyond the boundaries of the present moment. Scheduling time for reflection establishes mental boundaries. It is the conscious declaration that there is a time and place for contemplation, and it need not infiltrate every moment of your day. Musashi's strategic mindset involved creating and defending boundaries. Similarly, scheduling reflection becomes your mental fortress. Musashi's battles demanded unwavering focus and presence. Scheduling time for reflection encourages mindful presence. It is an invitation to be fully present with your thoughts, unburdened by the weight of overthinking. This mindfulness becomes the foundation upon which you build your understanding and mastery of the mind. Musashi's journey was one of continuous growth. Scheduling time for reflection fosters a growth-oriented mindset. It is the acknowledgement that personal development requires intentional reflection and learning from experiences. This mindset becomes a shield against the stagnation often perpetuated by overthinking. Scheduling time for reflection is the harmonious blend of Musashi's strategic philosophy and the modern pursuit of mental well-being. It is a deliberate choice to pause, reflect, and navigate the intricate dance between thoughts and clarity. As you carve out these moments in your daily life, you echo the timeless wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi, embracing the contemplative pause as a strategic move in the battle against overthinking. Step 5. Learn mindfulness skills. In the profound teachings of Miyamoto Musashi, the call to learn mindfulness skills echoes as a timeless strategy in the quest to overcome overthinking. Mindfulness is not merely a practice. It is a state of present awareness that aligns seamlessly with Musashi's philosophy of clarity, focus, and mastery. Musashi's battles were not won through absent-minded swordplay, but through the acute awareness of each moment. Similarly, mindfulness invites you to be fully present in the unfolding experience of now. It is the art of observing thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment, a skill that becomes your ally in the battle against overthinking. Overthinking often pulls the mind into the past or propels it into the future, creating a disconnect from the present moment. Learning mindfulness skills is the deliberate cultivation of present awareness. It is the invitation to anchor yourself in the now, much like Musashi's unwavering focus in the midst of battle. Overthinking thrives on the continuous loop of repetitive thoughts. Learning mindfulness skills becomes the disruptive force that breaks this cycle. It is the practice of observing thoughts as they arise, disrupting the automatic patterns that fuel overthinking. This intentional interruption aligns with Musashi's philosophy of strategic intervention in the flow of battle. Musashi's battles demanded emotional resilience. Learning mindfulness skills enhances emotional regulation. It is the conscious acknowledgement of emotions as they arise, without being swept away by their intensity. This heightened emotional awareness becomes your shield against the emotional turbulence often fueled by overthinking. Musashi's keen observation of opponents went beyond judgment. Learning mindfulness skills encourages a non-judgmental observation of your thoughts. It is the practice of witnessing thoughts without attaching labels of good or bad. This non-judgmental stance fosters a compassionate relationship with your own mind, diminishing the harsh self-criticism often associated with overthinking. Musashi's breath was his anchor in the chaos of battle. Learning mindfulness skills often begins with grounding in the breath. It is the intentional act of directing attention to the breath, using it as a tether to the present moment. This grounding technique becomes your foundation for navigating the turbulent waters of overthinking. Musashi's detachment from emotions in battle allowed for clear decision-making. Learning mindfulness skills involve observing thoughts with a similar detachment. It is the recognition that thoughts are transient, and you have the power to choose how to respond to them. This practice of detachment empowers you to navigate the mental landscape with clarity. Musashi's battles required a keen awareness of the opponent's movements. Learning mindfulness skills often include a body scan, a practice of directing attention to different parts of the body. This awareness technique fosters a holistic connection between mind and body, grounding you in the present and reducing the mental chatter of overthinking. Musashi's battles unfolded in the acceptance of the present reality. Learning mindfulness skills encourage a mindful acceptance of the present moment. It is the acknowledgement that in this moment, overthinking loses its power. This acceptance becomes a profound strategy, allowing you to be present with whatever arises, free from the entanglements of an overactive mind. Learning mindfulness skills is a harmonious integration of Musashi's strategic mindset and the transformative power of present awareness. It is not just a practice. It is a way of being that empowers you to navigate the complex terrain of overthinking with the grace and clarity inspired by Miyamoto Musashi. As you embark on this journey of mindfulness, may you find a sanctuary in the present moment, where overthinking surrenders to the tranquility of mindful awareness. Step 6. Recognize what you can and can't control. Musashi's strategic genius extends beyond the battlefield to the nuanced terrain of the mind. To fix overthinking, you must discern between what you can and cannot control. In the words of Musashi, perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. Musashi's mastery lay not only in wielding a sword but in discerning the ebb and flow of circumstances. Similarly, recognizing what you can and can't control is a dual acknowledgement of your agency and the uncontrollable currents of life. Overthinking often arises from the desire for certainty in an uncertain world. Recognizing what you can and can't control eradicates the illusion of certainty. It is the conscious acknowledgement that some aspects of life are beyond your influence. This acceptance becomes your shield against the anxiety bred by overthinking. Musashi's strategic brilliance involved directing energy where it mattered most. Recognizing control is the intentional focus of your mental and emotional energy on what is within your sphere of influence. It is the strategic decision to channel resources into actionable steps rather than expending them on the uncontrollable aspects of life. Musashi's adaptability on the battlefield was rooted in an understanding of the dynamic nature of combat. Recognizing what you can and can't control fosters adaptability. It is the acknowledgement that life is fluid, and your ability to adapt to changing circumstances becomes a potent weapon against the rigidity of overthinking. Overthinking often magnifies the perceived significance of every thought and situation. Recognizing control diminishes the weight of overthinking. It is the discernment that not every thought requires exhaustive analysis, and not every situation demands your emotional investment. This discernment becomes the antidote to the heaviness that overthinking imposes on the mind. Musashi's tactical assessment of opponents extended to a mindful assessment of his own abilities. Recognizing control involves a mindful assessment of your sphere of influence. It is the deliberate inquiry into what aspects of a situation you can impact and what lies beyond your reach. This mindful discernment becomes your compass in the tumultuous sea of overthinking. Musashi's strategic mindset involved allocating attention strategically on the battlefield. Recognizing control is the strategic allocation of your mental attention. It is the conscious decision to direct your focus to actionable steps and solutions rather than dwelling on uncontrollable factors. This intentional focus becomes your strategic advantage in the battle against overthinking. Musashi's emotional mastery was evident in his calm demeanor amidst chaos. Recognizing control cultivates emotional equanimity. It is the understanding that you cannot control external events, but have agency over your responses. This cultivation of emotional balance becomes the armor that shields you from the emotional turbulence induced by overthinking. Musashi's resilience on the battlefield was grounded in a resilient mindset. Recognizing control fosters a resilient mindset. It is the cultivation of mental strength to navigate the unpredictable nature of life. This resilience becomes your ally in facing the uncertainties that often trigger overthinking. Recognizing what you can and can't control is a strategic maneuver deeply rooted in Musashi's philosophy. It is not a resignation to fate, but a conscious choice to wield the sword of discernment, cutting through the illusions of overthinking. As you embrace this wisdom, may you find empowerment in discerning the boundaries of your influence and liberation from the shackles of overthinking that lie beyond your control. Step 7. Postpone and reduce your worries and ruminations. In the symphony of Miyamoto Musashi's teachings, the strategy to postpone and reduce worries and ruminations emerges as a tactical retreat, a conscious step back from the relentless onslaught of overthinking. Like a seasoned general strategically withdraws to regroup, the art of postponement becomes your strategic maneuver against the overwhelming forces of worry and rumination. In Musashi's world, battles were not always won through direct confrontation. Sometimes, strategic retreats paved the way for ultimate victory. Similarly, in the realm of overthinking, recognizing the need to withdraw temporarily becomes your tactical retreat, allowing you to gather strength and clarity for the battles ahead. Overthinking often spirals into obsessive cycles of worry and rumination. Postponing worries and ruminations is the deliberate act of breaking this cycle. It is the strategic recognition that continuous dwelling on a thought does not lead to resolution, but exacerbates mental distress. This interruption becomes your shield against the ceaseless mental tumult. Musashi's tactical brilliance involved creating distance from opponents to assess the situation. Postponing worries and ruminations creates mental distance. It is the conscious choice to step back from the immediate intensity of thoughts, creating space for a more objective and strategic perspective. This mental distance becomes your vantage point in navigating the complex terrain of overthinking. Overthinking often fuels heightened emotions. Postponing worries and ruminations allows for emotional cooling. It is the intentional step back from the heat of intense emotions, giving them time to settle. This cooling off period becomes your strategic retreat, preventing emotions from clouding your judgment and decision-making. Musashi's battles were won through rational analysis and strategic thinking. Postponing worries and ruminations facilitates rational analysis. It is the intentional delay that allows emotions to subside, paving the way for a more logical and objective examination of the situation. This delay becomes your strategic advantage in dismantling the irrational aspects of overthinking. Musashi's retreats were not indefinite. They were strategic pauses with a specific purpose. Postponing worries and ruminations involves setting a designated time for reflection. It is the conscious decision to postpone intense contemplation to a later, predetermined moment. This structured approach becomes your tactical retreat, ensuring that reflection occurs with purpose and focus. Musashi's tactics involved redirecting opponents' attention. Postponing worries and ruminations engages purposeful distractions. It is the intentional shift of focus to activities that captivate your attention and provide a mental break. These distractions become your strategic maneuvers, offering respite from the relentless mental battles. Musashi's mindfulness extended to the timing of his actions. Postponing worries and ruminations involves practicing mindful delay. It is the intentional pause before engaging with intense thoughts, a moment to assess whether the current mental state is conducive to productive reflection. This mindful delay becomes your strategic decision, ensuring that reflection occurs with a clear and focused mind. Musashi's visualization techniques were integral to his strategy. Postponing worries and ruminations utilizes visualization techniques. It is the practice of mentally compartmentalizing concerns, putting them in a metaphorical box to be opened at a later time. This visualization becomes your tactical retreat, allowing you to regain control over the mental battlefield. Postponing worries and ruminations is a strategic art deeply rooted in the wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi. It is not a denial of thoughts, but a tactical retreat, a conscious step back to gather strength, clarity, and perspective. As you embrace this strategy, may you find solace in the temporary retreat, knowing that it is a deliberate move towards reclaiming control over the intricate landscape of overthinking. Step 8. Avoid avoidance and train your attention. In Miyamoto Musashi's teachings, he advises us to face challenges and pay attention, like a sword maker sharpening a blade carefully. This is similar to how a skilled swordsman sharpens their sword for accuracy. Training your attention is like making a smart move to clear away confusion and bring clarity to your thoughts, just as a swordsman clears through the haze to see clearly. Musashi's battles were not won by avoiding opponents, but by facing them with skill and precision. Similarly, in the realm of overthinking, avoidance becomes the quagmire that hinders progress. Recognizing this, the call to train attention becomes your clarion call to face the mental adversaries head-on. Avoidance often provides temporary relief, but it perpetuates the cycle of overthinking. Training attention prevents the escalation of overthinking. It is the conscious act of facing thoughts directly, preventing them from snowballing into larger, more overwhelming mental challenges. This prevention becomes your shield against the mounting pressures of avoidance. Musashi's precision in battle was a result of intense focus. Avoiding avoidance and training attention develop concentration and clarity. It is the deliberate effort to hone your mental focus on the present moment, sharpening your awareness like a finely crafted blade. This sharpening becomes your strategic advantage in navigating the intricate landscape of overthinking. Avoidance often stems from discomfort with certain thoughts or emotions. Training attention builds resilience against uncomfortable thoughts. It is the intentional practice of facing discomfort, understanding that avoidance only reinforces the power of these thoughts. This resilience becomes your armor against the discomfort that overthinking seeks to amplify. Musashi's engagements were not haphazard but mindful and intentional. Avoiding avoidance and training attention promote mindful engagement. It is the conscious decision to engage with thoughts purposefully, rather than being swept away by the tide of avoidance. This mindfulness becomes your compass in the tumultuous sea of overthinking. Musashi's battles began with a clear acknowledgement of the opponent. Avoiding avoidance and training attention involve a mindful acknowledgement of thoughts. It is the conscious recognition that thoughts exist and require attention, rather than turning a blind eye. This acknowledgement becomes your strategic starting point in the battle against overthinking. Musashi's breath was his anchor in battle. Avoiding avoidance and training attention involve focused breath awareness. It is the intentional use of the breath as a focal point, grounding you in the present moment. This focused awareness becomes your steadying force amidst the turbulence of overthinking. Musashi's strategic brilliance involved setting boundaries on the battlefield. Avoiding avoidance and training attention requires setting intentional mental boundaries. It is the conscious delineation of when and how you engage with thoughts, preventing them from encroaching beyond the designated limits. These boundaries become your fortress against the overwhelming forces of overthinking. Musashi's mastery was a result of disciplined practice. Avoiding avoidance and training attention involve mindfulness meditation. It is the intentional practice of observing thoughts without attachment or judgment, cultivating a focused and disciplined mind. This meditation becomes your training ground for the mental discipline needed to overcome overthinking. Avoiding avoidance and training attention is a nuanced strategy deeply rooted in the wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi. It is not a blind confrontation with thoughts, but a deliberate, skillful engagement that sharpens the focus of your mind. As you embark on this journey of training attention, may you find the clarity and precision needed to cut through the veils of overthinking and emerge with the wisdom of a master swordsman. Step 9. Embrace your fears. Miyamoto Musashi, the fearless swordsman, understood that true strength lies in the embrace of fear rather than its avoidance. To fix overthinking, you must confront the fears that fuel the relentless cycle of thoughts. Musashi's philosophy advocates for courage in the face of fear, a principle that echoes through the ages. Fear is often the silent architect of overthinking, constructing elaborate scenarios in the recesses of the mind. Musashi's teachings compel you to turn towards your fears, to scrutinize them in the light of awareness. Embracing your fears is not an act of surrender, but a declaration of resilience. Much like Musashi faced formidable opponents, you too must confront the fears that lurk in the shadows of your thoughts. As you embrace them, you strip them of their power, reducing their influence over your mind. Musashi's legacy of courage becomes your armor, shielding you from the paralyzing grip of overthinking. Step 10. Keep the focus on problem solving. In the arena of both swordsmanship and the mind, Miyamoto Musashi championed the power of strategic problem solving. To fix overthinking, redirect your focus from dwelling on problems to actively engaging in solutions. Musashi's strategic brilliance lay in his ability to navigate challenges with a clear mind. When overthinking tempts you into a maze of problems, channel your inner Musashi. Shift your focus from the overwhelming nature of the problem to the actionable steps you can take. Musashi's philosophy encourages a problem-solving mindset, a strategic approach that dismantles the complexity of issues into manageable components. As you adopt the mindset of a problem solver, you align with Musashi's legacy of strategic thinking. Overthinking loses its grip when your mental energy is invested in constructive solutions rather than spiraling thoughts. In the spirit of Musashi, become the strategist of your own mind, orchestrating moves that lead to resolution rather than stagnation. Step 11. Start journaling. Musashi, the prolific writer and artist, left behind a legacy that extends beyond the battlefield. To fix overthinking, follow in his footsteps and embrace the therapeutic practice of journaling. Musashi documented his thoughts, strategies, and reflections, creating a tangible record of his inner world. Journaling becomes your personal dojo, a space where you lay bare the complexities of your mind. In the words of Musashi, you can only fight the way you practice. Through the act of journaling, you practice self-awareness, unraveling the threads of overthinking with the strokes of your pen. As you pour your thoughts onto paper, you engage in a form of mental decluttering. Musashi's wisdom encourages you to be both the warrior and the scribe, chronicling your battles against overthinking. In the quiet dialogue between pen and paper, you find solace, clarity, and a path towards fixing the intricate tapestry of your mind. Step 12. Live in the moment. The essence of Musashi's teachings culminates in the profound wisdom of living in the moment. To fix overthinking, immerse yourself in the present, for it is here that the mind finds peace. Musashi's battles were not fought in the past or the future. They unfolded in the razor-sharp edge of the present. In the pursuit of living in the moment, you liberate yourself from the shackles of overthinking. Musashi's philosophy teaches that the mind, much like a skilled swordsman, thrives in the immediacy of the present. Resist the pull of the past and the tug of the future. Embrace the now with the same intensity that Musashi faced his opponents. Living in the moment is not a passive act, but an active engagement with life. Musashi's legacy beckons you to be present in every thought, action, and breath. As you immerse yourself in the richness of the present, overthinking loses its grip, and you become the master of your own mental landscape.